So here I am, 1 week into my learning experience with Flutter. What have I learnt in this last week? Have I learned anything that is useful or not? Why not break it down? So let's go and do that, shall we? Be more fun. So what have I actually learned this week? So I've tried to spend as much time as I can. I wanted to spend an hour a day, just not necessarily worked out like that. But the things that I kind of have learned this week are, first of all, Flutter is the framework on top of Dart, and Dart is still a programming language, so you can still have methods and functions, which in one or two of the examples I've played around with, it used. So that was kind of one of the things I learned. There's also things such as how we have this quick way of running things. This is just a small app. I was kind of following another thing last night and putting together like the basics, because when I was going through the training on the Flutter site, it kind of delved straight into creating a stateless app. And so here, I had a class which was a stateless app, stateless, I believe it was, and then in mine here, it called, run app, my app. Whereas the example I was going through last night was a very basic one. It's actually starting from fresh and saying, look, we're creating a material app, and we're going to run it just directly from there. We're going to create it within the run app. Cool. So this is not the most complex of examples to have on the screen at the moment, but it's the one that I was actually looking at last night to go back to basics, and that's the other thing I'm learning, going back to basics. I learned some interesting things, like, for example, how we fit everything together. So you have your everything is a widget. So you have your material app, which is your overall screen, and then you have your scaffolding, which is designed to split the screen up so you can have certain areas like the app bar and the body, and then each one of those has attributes and widgets within them to be able to do stuff. So for example, you've got your title kind of attribute, and that takes a widget, which is a text widget in this case, and obviously you can put other stuff in there like menus and things like that. So it's really, what I've learned this week is about how it's structured and how how, I won't say easy, because I'm not into the really in-depth applications at the moment, but understandable, I think, is the right word. It's pretty understandable. It might look a bit complex. The one thing that I found really interesting, this is within code. You can do it differently within the Visual, the Android Studio, which runs in IntelliJ. But you can do things like format, and what that is, if you did a one-liner, as long as you put these commas after every bracket, then you do that reformat, and then it actually restructures the code into a nice sort of layout, and then puts these lovely sort of things at the end here, telling you where what that close bracket is for. The other thing I learned is, again, you can do this in Android Studio, in Visual, in code, Microsoft Code, it's a little bit different because you've got this little bar here. But if I've got this app bar, hopefully I can do it from this. If I click here, you can see I can actually automatically add that within the center, and I'm going to remove that. But what you can do is you can actually, instead of having to do the center like here by hand, you can literally take like the image here, and it's also is it control and dots on code is something else on Android Studio to bring up the same. But what you can do is you can actually wrap it within another widget container if you want to. So you want to center it. You got this image before wasn't centered, for example. I just plonked it right at the top of the screen, right below the app bar, but I wanted to put it in the center. So literally, I used the center container widget, basically the center method container to center the image within the screen or within the body, because that's what it's in, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of about as far as I got in the first week. It's been quite interesting. I haven't spent an hour every day, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm actually enjoying the learning process. I'm getting to grips with how it's all structured. I'm hoping kind of the end of next week, when I do another update video, have a bit more kind of knowledge and experience, depending on what happens during this week, of course, so that I can share the next part of what I've done. I also found there's a great channel, or is it collection, as it were, on YouTube, which has widget of the week, which is quite interesting, because I've been going through and looking at some of those videos, and these are produced by the Flutter team, I believe, or for the Flutter team, and they just kind of, you know, on average about a minute or 2 minute long, and just give a little bit of detail on the particular widget. So, you know, list view, for example, widget, you know, stuff like that, animated list and so on. So that's really interesting if you've not looked at that. Anyway, so that's my update. So if you find this interesting, continue watching, and I'll be producing some more of these as I go along, and hopefully you'll see me learning, and then hopefully I'll be able to help you out in the future. Alright, I'm going to go and carry on learning now. Well, go and grab a coffee first, of course. Alright.